Welcome to Search Engine Strategy San Jose 2008. Jamie O'Donnell here on behalf of the show, and we're with Matt Bailey, who was just one of our more colorful panelists on the Measuring in the Web 2.0 world. Matt shared the news with the group here today that Captain Kirk was actually a web analytics pioneer. Matt, give people a recap on that. I mean, that's a really neat feature story coming out today.
It is. Well, it's one of those things that when you're wasting time one day going through StarTrek.com, and I noticed that they were keeping a tally of how many people died in the episodes. And so I started to graph it in Excel just to see what show it was, who died, and because of the whole red shirt assumption that red shirts die more than anybody else. So once we started charting it out, we started getting really excited about this. And then it led into, well, why did it happen? What were the factors? And it just grew into a great presentation to explain to people that when you're looking for information, when you're looking for answers, you can't be satisfied just to look at a chart or a graph. You've got to look deeper. You've got to slice the data, so to speak, and segment the segment in order to find out what's going on. And really the inspiration was to tell people that just because you open up an analytics dashboard, you get a chart and a graph, it doesn't mean that it stops there. You've got to dig in. You've got to find more. And once you stop at that chart or a graph, and a lot of people just assume that that's all the further analytics goes. And it doesn't.
And what point in the series, season 1, season 2, season 3, did the fact that alien women happened to lower the death rate for red shirt Trekkies, when did that start coming into focus and you were able to act on that data?
That came out just purely based on the numbers that out of the, I believe it's 24 alien women rendezvous of Kirk, there were only 3 deaths. But contrasted with the amount of times they beamed down to a planet's surface, most of the deaths happened that way. So
you want to be on the ship?
Yes, it jumped out very clearly that was the case.
Okay, Matt, on the more serious side, you've got 3 C's that you want everybody to know about and think about as they're moving their own site forward and moving it towards the goals they want to have with visitors. Can you recap those for our audience here on the YouTube channel?
Context, contrast, and comparison. That you can only learn by contrasting and comparing. I mean, it's a fundamental element that we all do constantly every day. It's a mental process. We contrast and compare. I like that better than I like that. But you can't contrast and compare unless you have context. And just looking at aggregate numbers, it doesn't provide enough of a context for you to compare anything. And so the more you slice the data, the more you build context, the more you, so to speak, tell a story about a certain group of visitors, what they were looking for, what they expected to see, and what was the outcome. And when you can provide that context, you can now compare them to another group of visitors and to see what were the common factors, what were the factors that were different. And so those are our 3 C's, context, contrast, and comparison.
Is there an article on your site or other places you'd point people to dig into that a little deeper?
Yes, we've got a number of articles about contrast and building context. That's at SiteLogicMarketing.com/blog.
Okay, we'll add that link in our video here.
Thank you.
And thanks for your time today at this great show we're having this August.
Thank you, Jamie.